Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Pisces August 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant, the highly talented and attractive Pisces. Well, this month, we've got an interesting, you'll appreciate this, we have an interesting deck which features creatures known as the Fae, spelt F-E-Y in English, otherwise known as fairies. I think, it's baby stuff. Look, the Fae have a long theological tradition, some hundreds of years BC in Persia. Certainly they were recognized for a few centuries in early Christianity. And arguably you might say that they are still, in a sense, recognized in the Vedic traditions, where there's reference to the devas, that are beings of light, because the Fae are said to manifest as wisps of flame or light. You probably know that I have the spiritual gift of clairvoyance. Well, those readings are provided to people over FaceTime and Skype, wherever you happen to be living, and the details of that are contained in the description. Now, I charge for those, of course. Why do I have that gift? I don't know. Because there's another gift that I was given at birth as well. I have no reason why I got that either. It's the gift of healing. Now, healing as a gift was provided to me, first of all, on the basis that I use it, and second of all, on the basis that I don't get anything in return for it. So I'm to provide it to people who ask, and I can't get anything back. That is to say, it is free. There's no obligation attached. You won't be recommended to buy or acquire anything from me. You won't be talked into having a reading. There's none of that at all. There's no religion involved in it. There's no talk of saviors or prophets or anything like that. All I know is that if this is speaking to you, then I really encourage you to go into the description, get the email address for me, and say that's what you're after. Because I set time aside each day to do them. I've done countless healings, and very happily so. Because clearly it's part of my soul contract and I want to do whatever it is I'm supposed to do while I'm here, because to be quite frank, I don't want to come back again. Not that I've had any problem with, well, I've had a number of problems, as we all have, but geez, I've had a wonderful life as well, in many respects. Let's take 5 cards, because that's all we need for you. The first is the 7 of water. How very interesting. The Tower. The Knight of water. The Devil. Finally, the Fool. Good Lord. Well, why don't I bring the camera around, hey? And you and I can have a good look at the color and the art on these paintings together while the cosmic energy speaks to us both, and I'll do the reading for you.
What a fantastic month it's going to be for you. How can we go past the Fool as the way to open our discussion here today? This is, of course, about the Fae, about fairies and different things here. Gee, I'm getting a lot of... This is a period where you'll have a great degree of openness and trust and be ready to take a risk, I think. You'll also have the courage to stand your ground. You'll be very freedom-loving and want independence, but there's an enormous well of creativity coming up within you. Great potential here, and I think also you might find that you desire to live in the present. I think you'll be doing things without malice. There's a possibility here that 1 or 2 people might find that you are something of a eccentric. But this is all about newness here. Look at the color, this sort of green color of this figure here. Well, that is reminding you of the enormous power of spring and new birth. And the position of this creature here in all of this background, that shows the connection to cosmic oneness, and it wraps all around this creature. Now there's a possibility of rebirth given to you now on all four planes of human existence: the spiritual, the intellectual, the emotional, and the physical. Now the groundwork that needs to be laid for this to happen is your readiness to change in all areas, your responsibility for self-development. And I think I can take from this picture some things which may relate to that concept here. Here is this flower which is held next to the heart. It stands for emotional rebirth, the recognition, understanding, and acceptance of your true emotional needs. This great bird sitting here, I think this represents vulnerability and sensitivity as requirements for love of yourself, and also love for others. I think birds are very good sometimes at saying no in unclear relationships. And this is suggested that this is something that you want to think about as well. But birds can transform and fly, and this is a period of transformation here with you. Now those bees that we see everywhere here, well, as far as I'm concerned, all these bees here, their presence brings the realm of relationship into the picture. The quality of your relationship with family, friends, and business associates, and deep emotional bonds, they've got to be looked at by you and reevaluated. Which people do you really want with you? This is a very interesting thing here, this red thing here. This red color symbolizes the unfolding of creative powers. It's almost in the shape of a crocodile as something dangerous. But the crocodile's jaws are strong, and it really speaks of the crocodile's endurance, which you'll have, as well as your leadership qualities. And you'll have the ability to work independently and self-sufficiently. I do think that it really is possible for you to break through old, worn-out conditioning. Now, on the other hand, I think that this can also refer to fear, with this draped thing close to it. Now, notice that this creature here continues looking forward, unaffected by fear. It gives no attention to fear, so fear will lose its power over you. It can't injure you at all, and its dead remains can no longer frighten you. Because I think that your unshakable faith in existence allows you to be aware of fearful feelings without becoming their victim. You're set free, and you are receptive now to interpersonal reaction and also peak experiences here. There's a lot of dynamic power with you which is being released and driving you forward. And I suspect that this unstoppable creative process won't be held back. And I just happened to notice that this creature has a couple of horns growing from its head. I think that reflects expanded perception. There's a unity, the bridge between heaven and earth, inner and outer. That's for you now. Of course, all these blossoms here, the simple blossoms around, when united, they give birth to beauty and joy in your life. So I think that you are ready for a new beginning. perhaps even a real massive leap forward. So give in, dare to jump, even if fear attempts to hold you back. Pay no attention to it and trust the voice from within your heart. Now, you might ask yourself, what is fear for you? And how do you imagine this courageous jump into the new? What does it look like? Where does your heart call you to go? Say this to yourself now because it's true. I am a radiant being. I am a living treasure. I honor and value the unlimited resource of courage which is within me. I respect the nature of who I am. There is nothing to fear. And I now follow my heart because I am open and ready to go wherever it may lead me. Now, for some reason, I'm being asked to go to the opposite side of this diagonal, and so we shall do so. And here is this creature here, engaged in life, reaching out to what I assume is Venus. But look at this scythe, this sickle that is here. It's as if it has been used to cut down things. Well, what can astrology tell us? Well, actually, it is Venus in the third decan of Scorpio. Venus, of course, is, among other things, it really is your desire to enjoy life, to live life. There's a craving, there's an overarching insatiability of wanting to live. And of course, we want our lives to be perfect, don't they? I think that what's going on here with this energy is it's just a temporary thing with you. Well, Scorpio is about intensity. It's ruled by Mars. Mars brings it intensity. But when Mars is in Scorpio like this, it's also very much about protective of and interest in what is going on around your home and your home life. And I also see that with the number 7 that's associated with this card here, I have a mystical association with the planet of Venus as well. So Venus shows up once in the numerology, again in the astrology, and Venus, a double Venus, is coming into Scorpio, and it just crashes into Scorpio. The problem is that first of all, it crashes into Scorpio because its foot is stuck on the gas pedal, and Venus is also in detriment in Scorpio, so it can't express its sensitivity and emotions properly, and instead they can get channeled into, well, addictions or things, intensity, which is the darker side of Scorpio. And it can imply that as a result of looking around at your life that you indulge in excessive reactive behavior, such as overeating, perhaps, maybe over drinking or something like this. There's a sense of just astonishment going here. And it's almost as though, I'm looking at that scythe, that sickle, what a moment ago was a source of lust and enjoyment has now lost its attractiveness. And maybe it's been used to cut down some blossoms, some flowers, and they have become stale. It's as if you think that your outlook on the world is out of balance and that something needs to get resolved. You're trying to live a life, perhaps, that you're trying to put across something that maybe deep down you just don't necessarily believe yourself. How can I put this in terms which makes sense of this mystical language that's coming through? Maybe this way. Look, one of the really eye-opening things about becoming an adult is becoming forced to realize that the world doesn't care about us, does it? we have to deal with everything ourselves now. Find out how the world actually works. We need to work and pay bills. We need to use dental floss and get to meetings on time. We need to stand in line and fill out forms. And if you've ever been to one of those IKEA stores, we need to come to grips with putting furniture together. I have a theory that says that IKEA, which is that Swedish company where you assemble the furniture, that the Swedish word IKEA is actually the word for divorce. But that's another thing. That just might be me, I suppose. But we also need to change tyres on the car. We need to charge the phone and switch the coffee machine off and not forget to sign the kids up for swimming lessons. We open our eyes in the morning, don't we? And life is just waiting to tip a fresh avalanche of don't forgets and remember all over you. It's as if we don't have time to think or to breathe. We just wake up and start digging through the heap because there'll be another one dumped on us tomorrow. We look around occasionally at our place of work or at parents' meetings or out in the street, and we come to the conclusion with horror that everybody else seems to know exactly what they're doing. We are the only ones who have to pretend. Everybody else can afford things and has a handle on other stuff and enough energy to deal with even more stuff. And here's it too. It looks like everyone else's children can swim. Well, the message of this is that you are not alone and that everybody else is going through exactly the same sort of things that you are, so don't feel downhearted about it. Now, you might feel that. Do you know when you've been to a party the night before and you've had a lot to drink and the next day you feel as if you have a hangover? Well, some days we get up and it's like we have a hangover, but we just didn't have the party the night before. This just passes. Relax. You are okay. Let's have a look at the devil and see what it is here. Now, this devil is a really good card for your business affairs. I do have to say, though, people are going to find you very sexually attractive. I'm looking at the picture here, and it's almost as if, young fairies, when they come out of a cocoon or something, I suppose, they get their wings and they fly around, and then they come to a lake, and they are seduced by a mermaid who says, look, just clip your wings, and here are all the clipped wings, and come into the lake and we'll make you into a mermaid. But of course, this thing does not make it into a mermaid. And what over here looked good, or did not look good, probably, this looked better. It actually turned out that this was okay. Your life is okay as well, Now, this is Saturn ruling Capricorn here, but it's Saturn a good aspect here, which is bringing together the requirements of keeping you onto your soul path. There's a lot of energy here, sensuality all over the place, sexuality, creative energy again. Again, I'm getting this feeling of freedom-loving and individuality. You might find that you are doing some things on blind impulse, and you may be irresistibly attractive to other people, is what I see here. Now, I think what this is going about is saying that I think that the devil as an energy here is usually directed at some material goal. And I suppose that's the influence of Capricorn here as well in this card. Capricorns are usually feet on the ground and ambitious and goal-oriented, aren't they? This could also refer to you just looking after your own best interests, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But it does say that you'll be able to get a lot done productively if you are focused, because this energy isn't about distraction. It's about focusing on the task at hand here. There is, with Saturn in Capricorn, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, so this is great energy of forward motion going here. Mars, of course, also deals with your sex drive and your creative energy, so I think they are going to be on full alert during this period. Now, sometimes we can, as a result of these things, get involved in drinking a lot. Well, just watch out for that. I'm sure you can keep that under control, and if you can't, then you must. But I think it's also important to understand that you do have an ambitious side, but see it for what it is without becoming a slave to it. I suspect that you are going to find that you have a very strong desire to compete, to improve, and to win. This competition would be for the competition for a heart of somebody else, or it could be in relation to some material goal that's going on here. You will, I think, find that you are very sexually attracted to somebody else, whether or not you act on it, and there is the desire here for a relationship. Do you have some wish or desire that you don't admit to? Say to yourself, I am a vital, joyful, and grounded person. I enjoy my sexuality. Whether my problems are real, or if I'm just imagining them, or just conjuring them up myself, I know I can handle them realistically, and with good humor, with a smile on my face. I am meant to be successful and have prosperity and abundance, and I'm now setting sail for that because I am the captain of my ship. Now this tower comes up and, wow, isn't that an interesting sort of scary painting for a deck about little fairies and things like that. This reminds me of that flood story which is in Genesis in the Hebrew and Old Testament Bibles, where people were arguing. In this case, I think the fae or fairies were arguing about who owned what bit of land, who should do something up, and the earth itself rose up as if a monster and burnt everything around, starting from scratch. But these branches here speak of the new life and the prosperity that comes of it. And this is not a devil. This is something which is saying, I'm getting rid of the old, getting things that no longer serve creation or you, and I'm going to allow things to be replaced which are for your own good. Now this is Mars again, not surprisingly because of this color, I suppose, but Mars in a really constructive form here. It's Mars that's in the ability to make things happen. This is actually also a very good healing energy around you, notwithstanding that, and an inner transformation, but notwithstanding that the old is going to be burnt away, if you like, to make room for the new. You're going through a release. You're breaking down old forms or patterns, and it's as if almost that there is a calm after the storm. The power of the consuming, purifying fire destroys the old and sweeps it away. Nothing is spared. And the tower of your ego may well be shaken to its very foundations. All that remains is trust, the knowledge that all events in life arise from the endless love of the universe and bring you the possibility for learning and recognition. Now, this understanding of the true nature of events transforms even apparent apparent or seemingly what you think could be losses or painful disappointments into the valuable gifts that they really are. This is a very good card for healing, as I say. Now, just as sometimes you're getting a splinter out of your finger may be painful, well, so too the destruction of stagnant situations or relationships which are slowing down your growth. The extraction of that splinter begins a healing process for your entire organism here. There is here a period where emotions like anger, grief, or sleeping problems could arise as you toss and you turn, but you have a blank sheet of paper here. The important message is that with the destruction of the old comes the new, and you will look at life in a much more meaningful way, which is making you wiser. Do you know you are the sculptor of your own reality? Imagine your life as a magnificent work of art. The raw materials, your thoughts, emotions, and daily actions, these are all within your control. And by shaping these elements, you can determine the form and beauty of your experience. It's never too late to pick up the chisel. And while a lot of people discover this power later on in life, it's never too late to learn. Your energy will become contagious, so take charge of it. Master your emotions, your thoughts, your inner voice, and your body language. What you tell and how you speak, move, even look, they all have an impact and they contribute to the final picture. Even the smallest daily effort towards improving yourself can have a massive impact. Each positive step is like a paintbrush stroke towards a more fulfilling and joyful existence. So start today and sculpt the life of your dreams, one mindful choice at a time. It's what I call chipping stones with your butter knife. Now, I know that with every thought, every word, and every step, you are going to move closer to creating the vibrant life that you deserve, filled with ease, abundance, fulfillment, and blessings. And then quickly, because I'm mindful of your time, we'll deal with this Knight of Water. Do you know, sometimes I find with artists, this looks like an artist to me. I get a lot of artistic energy around here. Artists can start their career singing beautiful love songs, but their creative period often finishes in a morass of cynicism and loathing. Nevertheless, I'm getting the signs of Scorpio and Libra around here. I think they're going to be important to you. There is craving here again. We spoke about Venus before. Desire, wishes. You may come across someone who's actually a young man probably, who's very subtle, secretly violent, kind of crafty is what I'm getting here. But for you, the central task of this energy is to master dealing with emotional needs. Now, as the Knight, he's air, which is like Libra, I suppose, cardinal air. And as he's in the sign of water, which is fixed Scorpio, so that's probably a sensible connection as well. He symbolizes, I think, strong passions, just like that sign of Scorpio. This is someone who can sometimes skirt over the top of the waters of emotion, but without even touching it. Now, whether it's you or someone else, wishes and desires have got to be understood and recognized. Well, they are they not, the fundamental driving force in our life, and it's only possible to use and master them, really, if we're wide awake and alert, otherwise they take control of us. So instead of suppressing desire and wishes, you can use them in the process of becoming more aware. Now, when seen in this way, they're a vehicle that helps you journey into the world within. What a great set of cards for you, and so much better for having you here.
It seems that whenever I do a reading for you like this, that I always get so much out of it myself. So I hope that you certainly did. I find out more about myself, and inexplicably, somehow or other, it seems to me that I find out more about what is going on in the broader realm, in the cosmic realm. I enjoyed doing that, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did giving it to you. Now, unless I see you privately for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you again here next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.